Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Phoenix Raceway from Avondale, Arizona for tonight's Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series, Jackie's Journey 150. You might think funny name, Jackie's Journey 150. What's that all about? Well, just to put it real long and short of it, is one of our drivers here, specifically Colt Ansley, has a good friend that's in a pretty significant battle with cancer. Trying to gain some support, possibly even some help and some donations to help that cause. If anybody's interested in helping that cause, we do have a GoFundMe page linked to our Facebook, the HBR Holler Boys Racing TV. It should be listed just below tonight's event posting. So if you are so inclined, please check out that GoFundMe. Donate whatever you can, $1, $2, $5, $10, $100, whatever you want to do. Certainly greatly appreciated to help her in her fight against cancer. Even better, I think Jackie's going to give the command here tonight to fire engines, so stay tuned for that as well. You'll also see drivers tonight running pink paint schemes or pink wheels at the very least to show their support for Jackie. So here we are again, Phoenix Raceway, Avondale, Arizona. Just a tick over 1 mile. Outside temperature right now, 86 degrees. It is the desert after all. It's actually not too bad. Take a look at track temp. We'll go down here. We've got about 5, 6, 7 minutes left in practice. As of right now, Bobby Hamilton Jr. top of the board at 27:17. Now that, in this daytime sun, is a pretty quick lap with Ansley. Just over a tenth off that, as well as David Bradford. So again, pretty close times here in practice. Go down and watch this for a little bit, see what we've got going on track. Well, there's Eric Dotson, ladies and gentlemen. I'd even introduced myself, but forgot to do that as well. Eric Dotson joining us in the HBR TV booth. Welcome, Eric. Again, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. For these cup races, we get two guys up here in the booth help calling the action tonight. So welcome, Eric. Thanks for joining us, and glad you could be here. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Initially, we weren't going to do paint schemes. We were just going to do wheels, but then some guys took it a step further. But all in all, it's good to see. It's good to support our fellow racers and those that are close to them. See Jeff Napier out there with a black and pink paint scheme on his machine. Colt Ansley, it looks pretty similar, just a white and pink, and it's got Jackie's Journey on the side. With about 6 minutes left in practice now, we'll take a quick look. Last week's highlight, basically just the last lap, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Show. Bear with me, guys. There it is. All right. Last week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coming to the white flag, David Bradford just edges out Brian Rose at the white. Bobby Hamilton Jr. close in there. Brian Rose in the lead in the corner. Outside teammate David Bradford gets a little bit too much of a push from the 83. Brian ends up saving it off the corner, but loses a little bit of momentum. The high side, these tracks with these new cars, they run like a super speedway. Into turn 3, you see David Bradford leading Bobby Jr. off turn 4, coming to the line. David Bradford takes the victory last week at Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think
repeat.
I think that was a great race, and you know, drafting made so much impact there.
It was huge. I mean, you even listen to the cars. You close your eyes and you're like, man, it sounds like they're running like Daytona or Talladega. It's incredible. Pace that they're running, the RPMs that those cars are turning. They are 5-geared transmission, sequential gearbox now in these new next-gen cars. Definitely something different.
Yes, I know you've got to watch him practice a little bit. I think this is more of, a driver's track where there's going to be less draft. Is that correct in the next gen?
Well, it doesn't appear like there's really heavy draft or anything, but it does seem as if tire wear is going to be huge. Draft-wise, yeah, it seems like you can get a little bit of a tow down the straightaway on the backstretch, but it might be worth a tenth if anything. But yeah, tire wear is going to be key. You want to be quick, that's always a given, but you want to get out here, save the tire for late in the run, because some of these guys are blowing tires after 30 or 40 laps out here. So some of our stages, I think, are only 40 lap stages. Final stage, I think, is 55. I got to double check that. But these guys are going to really have to babysit that rubber, make sure they don't have any kind of tire failures late, provided that we do run long green flag runs.
Yeah, the message I got from Brian Rose today was tire wear is going to be huge. It looks like our stage cautions are 45 and 90.
45 and 90. We've got 150 laps. So, yeah, that last run is going to be about 55 laps once we get back to green. That's going to be a doozy. You almost want to hope that it's broken up by some cautions. These guys are going to have their hands full.
It looks like we've had a little change where I guess they have a quick repair at the shorter tracks too, right?
I think they've been running with one quick repair as of late, just to kind of weed out the, first or second lap oopses. If you want out half the field coming to green, that's not going to make for a good rest of the race. So it's kind of get out of jail free card, having at least one fast repair there. Yep, they might get to use it late in the run, but either way, I think it makes for a better race, at least in this circumstance. We've got 17 drivers here tonight, so take all we can get. We don't want to wreck 5 or 6 of them in one incident and have them be done, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it, if you do get involved in an accident that's not your fault, you get one more chance. I mean, I think we've all started a race and 2-3 laps in, get involved in something that wasn't our fault, and it basically does our race in.
Well, I mean, it happened to me just Sunday night in the SCAR Road Course Series at Barber Motorsports Park. I put it on the outside front row, and I got a really good start, and unfortunately it was too good of a start, so I checked up a little bit to not beat the leader to the green flag, and I got hit from behind into turn 1, and that was all she wrote for my night. I didn't make it one corner.
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, we had a fast repair as well, but like an idiot, I didn't have it checked just because I was going to save it for later, and I got stuck there for about 10 minutes. Taking a look at the chat, we've got a couple of not familiar faces. Some maybe I've seen, but not all of them. Looks like Annette Pena or Penna. I think she was here at the last broadcast, but she's saying hi. Betty Hatfield Middleton, let's go Hateful Chicken. Anna Garza, she's a veteran. Cheering on the Hateful Chicken 16 and 54. Of course, Melinda also doing the same with Bobby Jr. Hateful Chicken in the house as well. Imagine that. Rooting the 16 and 54 on. George Wall cheering on the 46 at David Bradford. Thanks for joining us, guys and gals. It's interesting. I know you're here watching, but it says I have 0 viewers, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Either way, we'll get that figured out another time. We're going to get to qualifying here. It looks like Brian Rose might be on track or at the pit exit, getting ready to start his first of 2 qualifying laps.
Brian's supporting the pink wheels here.
Yeah, typically I actually do a lot of the paints for HBR, at least these custom paints that we've got. We talked about maybe doing a pink paint scheme for everybody, but then everybody's like, oh, we'll just do wheels, and then it changed up again to, oh, we'll do paints, and, well, it didn't happen. So we stuck with just pink wheels. Still looks pretty good, actually, on that Popple 89 machine.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Almost matches the pink Popple on the hood.
You took the words right out of my mouth there. I think out of all the tracks we've been at, this is going to be the most important one as far as track positioning qualifying. So I think, these guys are going to come out with all they have in qualifying for the track position.
Yeah, track position will be key. Brian Rose runs a 27.41. Didn't catch what he ran in practice, but earlier in his session, a 27.6 was all he could manage. Definitely an improvement right now. Looks like Colt Ansley barely faster than 89. Brian Rose, Bobby Hamilton Jr. throws down a 27.29. Real quick lap for the 16. And Alan DeFries out. He puts down a 27.48. Carson Conway wraps up lap 1 at 28.18. Not a real quick lap in qualifying for Carson, but again, slow and steady here at Phoenix is certainly giving you a better potential. Lap 2 a little bit quicker for the 82. Right now sitting in the 11th spot on the grid. Last week's winner, David Bradford, 27.70 first lap. Not super quick for the 46 natural light machine. Picks it up on lap 2, 27.37. Enough for the front row for now. Justin Napier out on the track in that number 54 repainted pink Hateful Chicken machine. 27.47 for Justin on lap 1. Did not pick up lap 2. It puts him in the 6th spot. And Thomas McMullen, little off-track excursion. No, he's just taking the shortcut into pit lane. Runs a 27.471. That's good enough for 7th place. Doesn't look like everybody else is going to take a lap. We've got, I think, 6 cars that have opted not to qualify.
Well, for what I'm seeing, I guess the 86, the 16, and the 46 will go to the rear. Is that right? For
win penalties? Yeah, I believe so. Those are going to be the win penalties that they do enact here in SCAR. This way, if you get somebody who pops into the league that just is night and day faster than everybody else, he doesn't walk away with every race win. You got to put a challenge out in front of these guys. Coming into tonight, David Bradford's your point leader. Brian Rose is 2nd, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. is 3rd. Thomas McMullen 4th, and Colt Ansley is your top 5. That is your current driver standings in the SCAR Cup Series.
So let's see who everybody's going to take. Everybody watching, let us know in the comments who's going to win. I need help picking somebody here. I haven't watched them practice. I really haven't got to talk to anybody, so you guys help me decide here. I got to beat Steve. I'm beating him with an average finish of 6th right now. He's an average finish of 8th, so you guys help me beat Steve.
I'm picking David Bradford right now.
David Bradford right now. Okay.
2 in a row, David Bradford.
I'm gonna see if we get any comments here, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see what we get in the comments, and I might go with the fan favorite.
Melinda should just change her nickname here. It says, I'm rooting for Bobby. One thing I want to mention too here, we'll cover this in a minute. Actually, we'll cover it right now. You see Mike Aiello just going by, and he's just blinking out here with a connection issue. No, it's finished. The restarts typically with SCAR are on the leader once the pace car leaves the racing surface. Now, things at Phoenix have changed a little bit over the years. They've reconfigured this course, and the pace car actually enters the pit lane now off turn 2. So they've modified the rule a little bit to use the Geico restart zone, and there's a big Geico emblem painted on the racing surface, really on the apron. That is when the leader can fire off on the restart. So keep an eye out for that. You won't see them get into the gas right away on the backstretch as soon as the pace car leaves the racing surface. So watch the Geico restart zone. Now, as I said, Jackie Neal for Jackie's Journey. Jackie is actually going to be our Grand Marshal tonight. So we'll get to her in just a few seconds. And actually, for those most famous words in motorsports, we will go to Jackie Neal right now to give the command. Take it away, Jackie.
Drivers, start your engines!
Yeah, that was Jackie Neal with the command for Jackie's Journey 150 here at Phoenix Raceway. Again, pay attention to that number 86 machine, Colt Ansley, starting near the front here in that 86 with Jackie's Journey on the hood, the rear quarters, the whole nine. See Bobby Hamilton Jr. all painted up as well.
Well, I guess I'm going to make my pick, and I think I'm going to take a risky pick here just because of his aggressiveness.
Oh, and what do you got?
I'm going to take Colt.
Colt Ansley, you know what? I know he's going to want to put on a performance here tonight. He's going to want to finish strong. Put Jackie's Journey in victory lane, the title sponsor for the race. It's not a bad pick. I mean, he's been running really strong just about everything lately, but got 150 laps to figure it out. Pace car is already in. As you see, they're rolling down the backstretch with no pace vehicle right now. With those EOLs, it's going to put HBR in the front row, Vincent Short and Brian Rose. I think we may have had a misstart here.
They are going to go on green right here without the pace car, I think.
They're just going to call it themselves?
Yeah, when the green flag drops, they're going to go here. Is what Bobby just said in the driver chat.
Eric Dotson monitoring the in-car communications amongst all the drivers. I do not have it live on the feed because sometimes tempers flare and, well, things get said that sponsors don't like to hear go out. It is what it is, but thank you, Eric, for monitoring that. Cars working their way through turn 4. Geico start zone right there. Keep that in mind later on for the restarts.
Yeah, so we should go green. This lap coming to the flag stand.
I don't know what is going on. I mean, the system is calling it a caution, but the pace car is sitting in the pit lane. This is very interesting. Usually we get 1, maybe 2 laps to go before we go green on the initial formation lap, but I guess they're green.
Oh, they are now catching the pace car.
Oh, I see what's happened here. Okay.
Yeah, I think where we had the pause for Jackie to give the command, the pace car took off before that happened.
See, it's interesting. It might have been because everybody gridded up and it advanced that grid clock would be my guess. Typically, we've got about 2 minutes before the gridding is completed or that timer counts down. But I think if you get every track and every car in the session on track before the timer's out, it moves it to 0. So I guess we didn't have enough time to get it done. But hey, either way, ceremonial pace laps for Jackie Neal. We'll go with that. Blame it on HBR TV for delaying the green here, but either way, it was important. We got it done, and we're going to see some racing here soon enough anyway. We had a delay last night for a missing driver, but it's just the way the week's going. I got a couple more of these. Hopefully I can straighten this out. Still no pace
we're about to get lined out.
Hearing any chatter on the radio, Eric?
It is silent right now. The last I heard was they were going to catch the pace car, so.
I still don't see the pace car.
I know it's not counting no laps on iRacing, but I think our ticker is counting them.
Yeah, I mean, our live timing data actually comes from what iRacing gives the software, so we'll see. This is certainly unusual. We've taken about 7 laps here under caution before we've even gotten the race underway. If we had rain in the sim right now, I would kind of say that's no big deal. Maybe we had a passing shower and we're just trying to dry things off. We got Mary cheering on the 86. Terry Ansley, of course, cheering on the 86. And OCR. Supporting Jackie as well. Very cool. Very cool. Well, now it says we're green. So I think they're going to choose to go green next time by. Would be my guess.
Hey, Terry, if you can talk to Cole, tell him there is such thing as second or third and not be too aggressive. Tell him not to Ricky Bobby, and I got him right here. I'm trying to beat Steve.
All right, field foreman up here. Again, as we explained earlier, down the backstretch here, this is actually off turn 2. This is where the pace vehicle will take pit lane on restarts. Typically in our rules in SCAR, they could go green here, but because it is so far from start finish, they have to wait until the Geico restart zone, which comes up in turn 4. You'll see it on the wall and on the ground. You see Geico up in the wall. That's when they can go. They can fire off. First restart is going to be on green. And we're still not green. What is going on? I'm starting to be concerned here that maybe we've got a glitch in the sim because we didn't get rolled off in time.
I think we're going to do it this lap. If not, I won't jump down in the driver's chat and see if I can find out what's going on if we don't go green this lap.
10-4. Thomas McMullen in the 0-2. Awful antsy back there, wants to get going. Can't say that I blame him. All right, looks like we got at least another lap, so let's go over, show you guys the qualifying positions. Bobby Hamilton Jr. was P1 on pole, David Bradford second. These are based on qualifying. Of course, they both took end-of-line penalties for their wins. Third was Cole Ansley. Fourth, Brian Rose. Fifth, Brian Short. Justin Napier, sixth. Thomas McMullen, seventh. Alan DeFries, eighth. Chris Johnson, ninth. 10th was Tommy D'Angelo. 11th, Carson Conway. 12th, Jason Spear. 13th, Mike Aiello Jr. 14th was Will Hewitt with OCR. 15th, Mark Truxell. 16th, Jeff Napier. 17th, Ian Spear. And as we say this, the field is hitting pit lane now.
I'll be back.
10-4. Truly not sure what the issue is here. Maybe Eric is going to check on that right now. See the pace car still sitting in pit lane as if we are under green. The sim is saying we're under green, but truly not sure what's going on. Terry chiming in, thanking everybody for making this happen for Jackie. We're happy to do it on the HBR TV side for sure, doing what we can. It seems like we've screwed up to start, but again, all for a good cause. It's certainly one we'll remember. We'll get things straightened out, even if we have to start a new session. I'm sure we will find a way. Definitely glitchy here at Phoenix. Again, brand new scan of Phoenix Raceway. Maybe something to do with it. Not 100% sure. We will get it figured out. Hopefully Eric pops back in and gives us an update as to what the plan is. What do you got for us, Eric?
We are going to have to do a new session. They are a glitch in the system, and the pace car will not move from pit road. So they're going to make a new session.
So the pace car never left the pit lane.
Correct. It's glitched, and they were trying to throw cautions and everything else to get the pit to get the pace car to move, and it will not. So they're going to have to throw up a new session.
All righty then. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in the stream, don't worry. It's still going to be the same feed. We're just going to have to break away, so everything will stay up and live. So just keep an eye out. Keep your ears open. If you got to run and get a snack, or if you're sitting around the Hateful Chicken tonight, now's your opportunity to order a fresh, cold one. Maybe some wings, maybe a sandwich, maybe a burger, something good. I'm sure the stuff's awesome there. Gosh, I got to get down to the Hateful Chicken one of these nights. It's a 12-hour ride, I think. But, hey, we'll make it work. So sit tight. We'll be back shortly. We're going to have a new session set up as soon as possible. It doesn't take very long. He just has to duplicate it and hit start. So keep your eyes open. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned, everybody. We're getting there. The new session has been set up. It will be live here in just a few minutes, and we'll get back underway here shortly. A little bit of a delay here for the race, but it'll be worth the wait. I'm sure of it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
I'm gonna check about requalifying. That way we can let them know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Phoenix Raceway, Avondale, Arizona for Jackie's Journey 150 Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. We're back. Did you miss us? Some technical difficulties here in the sim. I know iRacing just recently rescanned and re-updated and all the good stuff to Phoenix Raceway. It hadn't done in about 9-10 years, I don't think, but they've done that recently, and sometimes you don't get all that source code in correctly. Maybe something to do with our pace car glitch, maybe not. Got a 5-minute warm-up that's just wrapping up here momentarily. I'm not sure if they're going to do a qualifying session or not. I believe Eric is checking with race officials on that right now. We'll go down and take a look.
So they was able to restart the grid on the qualifying. So wherever they qualified last time, they'll restart now.
Okay, Eric checking in with that information, letting us know we didn't lose our starting grid, so that's a bonus. Got about 3 minutes left in the warm-up, get everybody back up to speed where they need to be, and we'll get the race underway here shortly. I'd say give it about 5 minutes, plus or minus, and we'll be green. Session has been moved up.
Yeah, they had it. They were waiting for everybody to get back in this session, so they're no qualifying. So I think we're ready to grid up now.
So as it stood, it looks like HBR will be on the front row as a result of the EOL penalties, the win penalties handed down to David Bradford and Bobby Hamilton Jr. and I believe Colt Ansley. That's how it is looking right now. 3 fast drivers in the back. Again, speed may not necessarily be the key here today. It's going to be more along the lines of can you save those tires? We'll go through it again, but as of now, based on EOLs, Vincent Short's going to roll off in the first spot, not credited with the pole. Brian Rose will be second. Justin Napier will be third with TCB Motorsports. Outside to him, his teammate. Oh, where'd it go? Killing me, Smalls. Thomas McMullen is fourth. Alan DeFries fifth. Chris Johnson is sixth. Carson Conway seventh. Jason Spear is eighth. Ninth will be Mike Aiello Jr. 10th will be Will Hewitt in the 33 with Outcast Racing. 11th will be Mark Truxell out of Indiana in the 5. Jeff Napier 12th in the number 40 machine. 13th is Ian Spear in the 32. Bobby Hamilton Jr. again with that EOL will be starting in the 14th spot. David Bradford, same thing, 15th. Starting last due to the EOL penalty is Colt Ansley. See, the pace car hits the pit lane. We got to get all the way down the back straightaway before these guys can get going again. Again, pay attention to that Geico marking in the racetrack wall and down on the apron. That will indicate when these guys can go on restarts only. On the initial start, it will be on green. So keep an eye on the front row tonight. Green flag in the air.
Looks like we got a good clean start.
Vincent Short in that low lane gets the advantage through turns 1 and 2. Onto the backstretch they go for the first time of the afternoon. Looking high, Justin Napier just sneaking in front of the 89 of Brian Rose. Vince Short overdrives the corner, gets up into the marbles already off turn 4. It's going to be a battle for the lead between Justin Napier and I think Alan DeFries down low, cutting the corner in the dog leg, and we have a yellow flag. Don't know for what, though, because I don't see any issues on track. Mike Aiello Jr., the 74 down a lap already, it appears. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, so I'm anxious to see what caused the caution. It looks like Carson Conway and Mark Truxell got together.
Okay, I'm starting to find it. Let's back it up here a little bit. Let's watch the replay in real time. We're taking a look here at Carson Conway. Ooh, slides up the track, hits into Bobby Jr. ever so slightly, and then comes down, collects the 5 of Mark Truxell. Not a significant wreck, but not how you want to start off the race. Where's Eddie Rose? We got a Hateful Chicken instant replay already. He's not here. Sound off, Eddie.
Looks like they're maybe get ready to launch back up to go green again here.
Yeah, I think they shortened the caution just a bit here. It was a small incident. No one's ready to take tires or make a pit stop unless they've got damage. But again, pretty minor incident between Conway and Truxell. Pace car hits pit lane. Again, see where the pace car hits the pits right here. This is the old front stretch, now the back stretch. They've kind of reconfigured things here. That's off turn number 2. Pace car is going to maintain its speed, as is the field. Now we're getting into turn number 3, okay? So you see turn 3 marked up on the wall. Take a look at the wall as we go through. You got the Cup Series logo. Now you're going to have a Geico logo on the wall right there. And they can go. As soon as they hit that, it's on the leader. We're green. Lap 5 of 150, NASCAR Cup Series, Jackie's Journey 150. Alan DeFries out to a lead. Nothing significant right now. Justin Napier second, but closing into the inside of Alan DeFries as Alan DeFries actually blinks out for a second there. Connection issues on the 71.
Yeah, I think Justin had a good run and seen Alan blink out and probably got off of it a little bit, like we talked about before. That's kind of nerve-wracking.
I will say these top 3 looking awful aggressive early on, and we do have a car out of shape down low. It was one of the pink cars. Was it Bobby Jr.? It might have been. Bobby back in the 13th spot right now. Not sure if there was contact involved. The car looks pretty clean. Hard to say. Back up front, Justin Napier has made a pass around Alan DeFries, put him back into the lead. Alan DeFries to second, Vincent Short third as he's starting to battle with Chris Johnson.
It's harder to recognize these cars with these pink paint, but they look good out there.
Yeah, it's always tough when the paint schemes aren't what you're used to seeing. Sometimes it's how you identify them. But the thing is, there's not a ton of pink cars, a lot of pink wheels. So Bobby Jr. is pretty easy to pick out of the group.
Chris Johnson drives it in hard. He's into the wall.
Chris Johnson, very aggressive here early on, 9 laps in. Off the pace ever so slightly here. He's dropped back to about the 11th, about to give up that spot to the 83 machine of Jason Spear. Right side pancaked pretty good on that number 78.
Yeah, that's the definition of seeing it right there. He's seeing it.
Yeah, it's not the type of track you want to do that on. Battle of Brian Rose and Thomas McMullen. That's for the 5th spot. Brian 4th, Thomas 5th. Guess it's the battle for 4th. Meanwhile, Will Hewitt closing great ground on those two. Looks like Colt Ansley to his outside as well. Teammates working together to try and cut through this field here in Phoenix. Alan DeFries has gotten back by Vincent Short, put a little bit of a distance on Vince. Now it's just save the tires, maintain position, don't chew up the rubber too early. We got to make it to that first stage caution. Eric, you said that was lap 45, correct?
Lap 45 will be the end of stage 1.
So stages 45 and 90, and then 150. That's the final lap.
Right now, though, Justin Napier and the 54 Hateful Chickens looking strong out front.
Justin laying down some pretty good laps. Last time by was a 27.89 for the Hateful Chicken machine. Not sure if that's a pace he wants to keep running. Everybody behind him in the almost 28 to low 28 second range. I know Justin's trying to lay down some good laps, but that's just going to chew up those Goodyear Racing Eagles a little bit sooner than everybody else. By the end of this run, expect to see the field start to reel in that 54.
Yeah, I think him and Alan DeFries stayed about the same that lap, so I'll be anxious to see how the tire wear comes in if, Justin keeps going at a high pace. This would not be a track that I would be good at, Steve. I was not very good at saving my tires in any of the SCAR races. So I would probably be going towards the back on a long run.
I was never very good at saving tires at places like this, but I don't know, last couple of months of doing some races, now I'm doing a lot more broadcasting, but you start to kind of figure things out. As we see, Vincent Short has gotten into the wall. Pancake that right side. Tire conservation is very important, especially in these longer races. Yes, we do have stages which are helpful, but I found that if you know what your limit is, you know what the max lap, your qualifying lap per se is. You see Vince Short real tight off again. If you know what the limit is, you can kind of dial it down a little bit. If you can run a 27.4, well, maybe try to run a 27.9 or even a 28 flat, early in the run. Save those tires. And if, okay, we've got 20 laps on the tires, back it down a couple more tenths. Let some guys who seem aggressive get by you. Give up those spots early, because if you do and you conserve the car, it's going to come back to you later on. It takes a lot of discipline. It's something I was never very good at, but you kind of figure it out after a while.
Yeah, I never had the patience for it. That's what killed me.
Yeah, I want to go out there and I want to race. We're in a race car. You're in a race. You want to race. You want to ride around and save tires, but it's the way the game is played. Some of these shorter tracks. It's just the mile racetrack that races like a short track. Back up front, Justin out to a 2 1/4 second lead over Alan DeFries. I don't know. This might be a test session, at least a test stage for the 54 of Napier. Maybe just kind of throttling the thing as hard as he can to the end of the stage, see what he can get away with. I know some of these guys were seeing complete tire failures after 40 laps. Again, we got a 45-lap stage. I don't know if you really want to abuse that right front for that long. It's just not going to last. Track temperature is only 78 degrees, so not as hot as it was in the previous session. We had 86 degrees air temp, so that would have been helping that track temp come up. This bright Arizona sun shining down on the racetrack, but so far so good for the 54.
Yeah, he's broke out to a lead for sure, and like you said, we'll keep an eye on him in the later stage of this run and see how he does.
Well, since I pointed out his lead of 2 1/4 seconds, Alan DeFries has cut into it by about 5 or 6 tenths. So either Alan is back in the throttle or Justin is realizing he's got to save some tire for the end of the run. But either way, the 71 reeling in Justin Napier.
I'd say it's a little bit of both, because Alan was kind of, him and Justin kind of broke loose, And then, Allen got caught by Thomas McMullen and the crew behind him, and it seemed like Allen kind of put his foot down once those guys caught him. I see the 46 and the 16 and the 86 all came to the front pretty quick.
Yeah, you look at the iRacing experience that David Bradford has, the real-world experience that Bobby Hamilton Jr. has, and they know how to get through traffic at a place like Phoenix Raceway. At the same time, save some tire for the end. How they do that, like I said, I can barely figure it out by myself, let alone trying to pass cars at the same time, but somehow they make it happen.
Yeah, they do really good with saving their tires and being fast. And I think Justin may have jumped out and maybe got his tires a little wore quick because they're catching him fast now.
Gap down to 0.8 of a second up front. Justin Napier, every corner losing ground. 0.4. He's doubled that, or cut that gap in half actually in the last two corners. Down the backstretch, Justin goes. It's down to 0.3. Alan DeFries is there. At least he's going to be at the start-finish line. But again, does Alan just ride at this point? Does he try to match the pace of the 54? Not a whole lot of pressure behind Alan DeFries. You got the 0-2 of Thomas McMullen and Cole Ansley battling for position, so that's allowing them to get away a little further, putting more heat in the tires and the cars behind him. But Alan is actually taking a look to the outside off turn 2.
Yeah, I think Alan will get around Justin. I would say, his tires are in a lot better shape, and he wants to put Justin in between him and Cole Ansley.
Looked like Justin may have missed turn 4 just enough. Alan takes the shortcut through the dog leg, takes the lead into turn 1. New leader Alan DeFries.
I've seen, David Bradford and Thomas McMullen racing side by side a lot. And, how much do you think that affects those two's tire wear?
I mean, when you're really fighting to protect that position, yeah, you're going to chew up the tires. I mean, anything that forces you to drive aggressively, and I don't mean swerving left, swerving right, but I mean, okay, let's carry the car a little deeper into the corner before I get into the brakes, and let me get back to the gas a little bit sooner than I would have. That's all putting extra friction, extra heat into those Goodyear Racing Eagles. And they're going to wear out faster. It's just plain and simple. The hotter they are, the more they're going to wear, the less grip they're going to have at the end of the run. The key really, at least, and this is my opinion, because again, David Bradford, guys like him, he's got the experience in these cars, not so much the next gen, but iRacing in general, to save enough tire, passing cars or not. Everybody else, though, for the most part, I would just run by myself. Not chew up that rubber, not fight anybody. If they want to spend the time to pass me, I'm going to take the bottom, take the top, whatever they want to have, they can have it, and let them go. Don't look now. Alan DeFries is going to have company here momentarily in the form of the 86 of Colt Ansley. Jackie's Journey on the side and hood of that machine.
And, these three guys, Colt Ansley, David Bradford, and Bobby Jr., they had to start at the back and work their way up, so they had to be extra careful about burning them tires up. But Looks like we're on lap 32 now. We're gonna have the stage caution at 45. You think these guys, maybe 5 to go, get a little bit more aggressive?
I mean, everybody's going to pit for tires at the end of the stage. So, I mean, you might see it, you might not. But, I mean, how aggressive can you get on these tires? Do you really want to risk it? Again, track's pretty green. We don't have a full run into the track yet. The rubber's not in the groove per se. That's usually the worst run on the tires is the first one of the night. You're going to burn up tires a lot faster in those first 45s than you will in the second 45. I kind of vote no. If it's me, I'm going to be conservative here and save the car.
I mean, the way it looks right now, the stage points are going out. It's pretty much, the 5 guys, but, in what order? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this top 5 is just kind of riding us. It looks like they're going to be coming up on Carson Conway here soon.
See, we say the top 5's kind of riding, but David Bradford looking a little racy in the rearview mirror of Cole Ansley. He's only in the 3rd spot right now. I would assume David's going to want second place points or better. I mean, if he can get to the back bumper of the 71, maybe make a move there as well, but does not look content to ride in 3rd.
I mean, David's our points leader coming in here, and Brian Rose is 2nd in points, and as of right now, he's not getting those stage points. So do you think that plays a factor in David's thinking?
Yeah, I mean, we still got a lot of season left, but every point counts. You don't want to get to the season finale and then be like, oh man, if I only had those 2 extra points or whatever it was at Phoenix or Daytona or Vegas or wherever. You don't want to look back and wonder. Looks like Jeff Napier has made a pit stop here. He's gone down a lap in doing so, but now he's on fresh rubber. Not sure what the strategy is there, but
he actually lost connection and came back in.
Oh, all right. Well, that'll do it. Unfortunately, a night of glitches, it seems. Cole Ansley is there on the 71. I'm not sure if he's going to make a move here, but he is certainly looking racy behind Alan DeFries. Here he is to the inside, taking a look. Nothing doing. Maybe he's got it. Yep, into the inside of Alan DeFries. Side by side through turn number 4. Sometimes hard to tell. Side by side. No, that was 2. Down the backstretch, going into turn number 3. Now Cole Ansley's got company. David Bradford looking to his high side.
And it looks like Colt's kind of having to back off a little bit when they get him on that bottom side because he's pushing up. But he was able to hold David off.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. now taking a look to the inside of the 46 of David Bradford. He wants 3rd. Of course, those points are important at the stage. Might as well give it a shot. 16 doesn't get the momentum off the corner. David Bradford keeps the 3rd spot. David Bradford drives it in pretty deep into turn 4, and Cole Ansley loose off the corner is going to give up the 2nd spot here maybe. He's definitely down on momentum. Good save to keep it from spinning all the way out, but scary moment for the 86.
Yeah, you can tell his car's tight right now with somebody on the high side of him.
Bobby Jr. almost trying to side draft the 86, it looked like. Not sure if that works here or not, but little experimenting going on here in the early stage. Lap 41 of 150, almost to the end of stage number 1. Battle is not at the lead. It's 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. David Bradford, Cole Ansley, Bobby Hamilton Jr. Awful lot of pink, 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
I think Allen may have been saving something. I know that they had a battle for 2nd, but looks like Allen's pulling away a little bit.
Well, you saw early on how big of a lead that Justin got out on Alan DeFries, but was that because of Justin just driving hard, or was he just dealing with Alan not running hard? I mean, that could have been the case. I mean, it seems it right now because Alan is out front, seemingly a safe tire. Again, David Bradford's second spot. Colt Ansley is back to third. Just getting a text message from my oldest daughter, and she goes, "Who do we like more? Is it Denny, Chase Elliott, or Kyle Larson?" I'm not going to answer that on air. The fact that she asked me alone, though, proud dad moment. Lap 44, 150. David Bradford closing in on Alan DeFries.
So this is it. White flag for the stage.
Let's see what David Bradford has for Alan. Alan looking pretty strong so far in the late going.
I don't think David's going to have anything for him this stage.
Now it looks like it's going to be second place points for the 46. Alan DeFries off 4, looking for the flag. Green and white checker, stage 1 in the books. Alan DeFries, David Bradford, Colt Ansley, Bobby Jr., and Will Hewitt. Top 5. With that, we'll be right back. Mics are hot. Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway for the Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. Jackie's Journey 150. We're 49 laps into this 150-lap event. Stage 1 in the books, and Alan DeFries is your Stage 1 winner. Pit stops wrapping up. Not a quick stop for Alan DeFries. Don't know if he had an issue. He's back in the 10th spot, but new leader David Bradford out in front. Appears that only a handful of guys did not take tires. Maybe Jason Spear?
Yeah,
No, he's pitting now. He was trying to stay out. He maybe got fuel, but now I think he's going to get tires. I don't know if there was some strategy play there, but Eric, you noticed during the commercial that Bobby Hamilton Jr. missed his box?
Yeah, it looks like he overshot it and had to back up. So I think that's how he lost a couple spaces spot.
Wrong pit stall. Not good. Just looking back through. Okay. 1/3 of the way in here tonight. Jackie's Journey 150. 50 down, 100 to go. Next stage is at lap 90, so keep an eye out there. Pace car lights are off on the iRacing pace car. We're in turn 2. He hits the pit lane, and we'll go all the way down the backstretch before we nail the gas. Field almost to the zone. There it is. David Bradford waited till the very end of that Geico restart zone to get into the gas. Gets a good jump on the field. Moved David Bradford to the lead by himself, just behind Cole Ansley, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Will Hewitt, and moved Mark Truxell up to the 5th spot. To Mark's outside is the 0-2 of Thomas McMullen. Let's see if Thomas can do anything with the 5. He can. Gets the run off the backstretch into 3. Battling back to the inside is Mark Truxell. Mike Aiello wants a piece of this too. He drives it in deep into 3 and 4.
That's a very interesting restart.
That was a good restart. Action all over the place. That's what we like to see here in the Superior Class Auto Racing Cup Series.
So we will have this stage caution at lap 90. So, these guys are racing the lap 90 for the stage points. So we'll see how this stage turns out.
Now, you may see guys run a little bit quicker, run a little harder around here with only 40 laps under green between now and that stage caution. The first stage, 45 laps. Second stage ends at lap 90. And Brian Rose loses it off turn number 2. We stay green. How he got away with not getting just annihilated, I do not know. Brian Rose, trouble off turn number 2, back in the gas, keeps it on the lead lap, but he is the last car on the lead lap. Close call for the 89 of Brian Rose. Brian was a little apprehensive about tonight's race here in Phoenix, not his cup of tea. Was hoping to just get out of here and survive. So far, so good, but scary moment for the 89.
Yeah, talking to Brian, throughout the season, he's had great expectations every race. And here at Phoenix, he knew it was going to be a little different. His whole goal here was top 5. His goal all year has been to win, and he said, "I'd just like to come out here with a top 5." I know all drivers want to win, but every race. But I think sometimes you gotta, for the sake of points, you gotta set yourself the goal of just, hey, I'm gonna go get a top 5.
Looks like we're having some technical difficulties once again on the Facebook side of the stream, I believe. We're going to go in there and check it out, see what's going on there. YouTube appears to still be up and running.
Did we lose Facebook?
Nope, back up. We lost it for a minute. There must be some music being played somewhere that we're getting nailed for copyright on, and they stop it midstream when that happens. So, got to go back and figure out what that's from. I know the YouTube stayed live. Facebook is back up and running, but will not accept new viewers, unfortunately. See if we can go in and at least share the YouTube channel in Facebook just in case. Guys, we are still live on the YouTube side trying to get Facebook rectified, so don't go anywhere. Did I lose Brian Rose? Or Eric Dotson for that matter?
I'm on here.
All right, you're still here.
Yeah, okay. Looks like old David Bradford is leading the way here with Bobby Hamilton Jr. right behind him. As you know, they try to be fast, but they try to also save their tires. We got Cole Ansley in third place, Will Hewitt fourth, and Mike Jr. in fifth. I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name. Steve is our language professor here, not me. I'm in the good old hills of West Virginia where we just pronounce it how we see it. So it looks like Bobby and David are starting to pull away a little bit from the rest of the field. And I think Bobby is just kind of content with riding right now as we're on lap 67 out of 95. Bobby's right there at the back bumper of David, but I think he may just ride around and save them tires and try to get David closer to the end of this stage. They've broke out to a 1.5 second lead over Cole Ansley right now, so uh, we'll see. If maybe Colt's saving a little bit more tires than them, as have we talked about all race, the tires are going to be a big key here. Looks like Bobby Jr. looks high, decides against it, and kind of falls right back in line with David. Bobby Jr. looking strong on the tail end of David Bradford right now. Looks like they're closing in on the 82 of Carson Conway in the Popple car, where tonight's not being Carson's night. 2 laps down. Looks like here in the next couple laps, he'll end up being 3 laps down as he kind of just moves to the bottom and lets him go without any chance of any altercation or incident. The next car in the leader's path will be old Jeff Napier. So Jeff, I think, had some connection issues. Got out of the session, had to get back in the session. Not being a very good night for him as he's 5 laps down and the leader's closing on him, and you know he'll probably be 6 laps down if we don't get a caution here soon. Out front, it continues to be David Bradford leading Bobby Hamilton Jr. Looks like David Bradford's pulling away just a little bit on Bobby Jr. now. Cole Ansley still in third place. He's dropped down to about 2.5 seconds behind. Will Hewitt still fourth, and Mike Jr. in fifth. David Bradford is the points leader coming into the race, so I'm sure he's trying to do everything he can to lead the most laps and get as many bonus points as possible. I really didn't understand how much these bonus points meant until talking to Bobby Hamilton Jr. He talked about how in seasons past 2 points have separated winning a championship and finishing second. So, going into this season, Bobby Jr. talked about how important all these bonus points were going to be. And, I think that's why these guys are a little bit more aggressive this year when it comes to leading a lap or comes to leading the most laps or, getting that final stage point. I think, you know, when Bobby Jr. is talking about it, everybody's going to pay attention.
All right, Eric. Well, thanks for covering. Tried to do what I could do without shutting the whole thing back down. I don't know if I can restart the Facebook side, but YouTube is still up and running and happy, so we'll keep it there. It looks like Sony Music Entertainment is the reason we got blocked on the Facebook side. We played 38 seconds of a song, apparently, that they don't think we should play on Facebook. I guess it's perfectly fine on YouTube, but we'll have to get that straightened out going forward. My apologies to any of you guys on the Facebook side. Please, if you can, share it across the board to anybody that's typically a Facebook viewer so they can watch the rest of this event. We're lap 79 of 150 here at Phoenix Raceway. Coming up on the end of stage number 2, David Bradford pretty much led since the drop of the green flag on stage 2. Bobby Jr. second, Colt Ansley is third, Will Hewitt fourth, and Mike Aiello Jr. up to the 5th spot.
Hey, Steve, were we able to get the YouTube link and post to Holler Boys?
Yes, I did copy the YouTube video link right to our Holler Boys Racing TV Facebook page. It is pinned at the top, so it should be just above the event that was previously pinned, so keep an eye on that. Don't you hate when that happens?
I hate when that happens. I hate when you leave me by myself, Steve. I don't know how you do this on the nights I'm not up here with you. It's hard to talk to yourself.
And you just froze, man. I was like, where'd you go?
I was actually, Brian Rose had texted me telling me that we had lost the broadcast on Facebook, and I was going back through it, and I still have access to look at it, I guess, from my personal page. So I had texted Brian and said it's all good, so I guess maybe where I was already looking at it, so I was trying to figure out what was going on too. So guys, we apologize. You know, we'll try to figure out what flagged it. I don't know if Steve can look at that or not, but you know, if anything ever happens on Facebook, Steve has it on YouTube. Make sure you go over there and jump on the YouTube.
Yeah, I know a lot of you guys like to do it on the Facebook side, and it's always an option. We try to do that every week for you guys, but for whatever reason, and I'm assuming it might be the intro music that we were playing at one point, that music came for free from YouTube directly, but maybe you can only play it on the YouTube side and not Facebook. So the next stream, I will leave that out. We'll see what happens and kind of go from there. But here we are, lap 84, coming to the end of stage number 2. Never mind the technical difficulties that seem to be plaguing us at every corner tonight. We still got a race to call.
Absolutely, and you know, David Bradford looks like he's starting to check out, but you know, if I have Bobby Jr. behind me and I know he was in a NASCAR race car, you know, I'm kind of wondering what's going on, but you know, there are 10 laps to go here.
We only got 5 for the stage. Lap 90 is the end of stage 2.
You are correct. I misspoke. I was thinking 95. One thing I was surprised about right there was, you know, Jeff and Bobby worked together, and it looked like Jeff kind of raced Bobby a little bit there.
It's interesting. I mean, Jeff is, I think, 4 laps. No, how many laps down is Jeff?
I think it's showing 6.
Not sure why he would be fighting for that position. He's going to need a whole lot of cautions to get enough lucky dogs to get back. And as it is, I think Carson Conway will be the first recipient of that lucky dog as it is. Looks like Vincent Short on some fresh tires, carving his way back, getting a lap back the hard way, at least trying to.
Yeah, it looks like Vince is having a handling issue. His car just does not want to turn. David Bradford coming down to lap 89 now, so 2 more times around here as he laps Carson Conway again, and David Bradford get a stage win.
You can hear how out of the throttle these guys are late in this run. Last lap for David Bradford at 28.83, Bobby Jr. at 29 flat versus the low 27s that they run on fresh tires. Stage 2, 1 more to go for David Bradford. So far, good points night for the 46.
Yeah, he came in as the points leader, and right now it's looking like he's going to extend that lead if he has a good final stage. There's the yellow flag for stage 2 as David Bradford wins it, Bobby Hamilton Jr. second, Colt Ansley third, Will Hewitt fourth, and Alan DeFries fifth.
So far, no tire failures for anybody here tonight, but this last stage is going to be the challenge for everyone. We go to lap 50. We're at lap 92 now. Probably a 55-lap run to the finish once we go back to green. Do we know what the fuel window is for these Cup cars here at Phoenix, or is it strictly based on tires at this point?
Everything I heard in the garage area, it's all about tires. Talking to the drivers, it's all about saving the tires. I never heard any of them talk about fuel.
See David Bradford working his way down the pit lane. Into his box cleanly. Bobby Hamilton Jr. as well. Doesn't miss the box this time. Right side's up and down for the 46. Sunoco Racing fuel going in. Left side tires being changed as well. For Goodyear Racing, Eagles, and Sunoco Race Fuel. The 46 is down and away. Looks like Ian Spear did not pit. Ian Spear stays out to lead a lap. David Bradford wins the race off of pit lane. Bobby Jr. second off pit road. Colt Ansley third. I believe Ian Spear may take the opportunity to pit this time by. Just there's no way you're going to be able to run to the finish on tires that old. Here he does come into the pit lane. That number 32 machine took the opportunity. Lap led. It's going to move David Bradford back to P1 for the start of the third and final stage here at Phoenix Raceway.
Do you think we have any sleepers out of the bunch that, kind of just have been waiting and going to show their true hand here in this last stage?
It's tough to say. I mean, David Bradford's so good around here. He's great at saving tires. Always has something left in the car until the end when you really need it. He's disciplined. He's patient. It's not to say there aren't guys out there with those same characteristics. Of course, Bobby Hamilton Jr. right there. Colt Ansley showing some patience here this afternoon. Still running in the third spot, but again, Colt typically a pretty aggressive, go after it, just send it type driver. Works out for him. He's talented, he's quick, he's got the pace for sure. It's the old Days of Thunder line. There's kamikaze drivers and then there's calculating drivers, and there's certainly a good mix of that here in the SCAR series.
Yeah, I mean, you had no hesitation in this race. As soon as I mentioned picks, you went straight to David Bradford. And, he's been the man to beat so far this race.
Well, I mean, you got to be honest. I mean, he's been the favorite all week. You've talked to some of these drivers, and who's the man to beat this week? Oh, it's got to be the 46. He can save tires with the best of them, and so far he's proven it. Started at the back of the field. Now he is leading this thing. He's won stage 2. I think he was second in stage 1, right?
He was in the top 5. I'm not sure where.
Pretty sure it was second place in stage 1. We'll have to go back and check that. But here he is, stage 3, getting ready to go green. Pace cars in pit lane with an opportunity here to bring home another victory. They would make 2 in a row if he can pull it off. Yeah, Terry, Facebook's kind of washed here. I don't know what we're going to do. We have to change some things. But either way, green flag in the air. David Bradford with the jump. Colt Ansley gets a good jump on Bobby Hamilton Jr. Gets to the inside. Not sure if he's clear into one. Yes, he is. Move Colt Ansley up to the second spot. Aggressive move early on the restart for the 86. We do have a yellow, though. Looks like Ian Spear and Alan DeFries have crashed. So this is just going to shorten things up for this stage 3. Let's take some green flag laps off of those Goodyear Eagles. Let's go back and see. Eddie, be ready. Poet, don't even know it for the Hateful Chicken instant replay. So Ian Spear in the 32, Alan DeFries in the 71. That's what we're watching here. Into turn 3. This is coming to green. Let's speed things up here a bit.
I know the 32 has taken blame for it on the driver's chat.
Ian did not get a good start. Alan DeFries took the shortcut, big shortcut in the dog leg. Oh, yeah. Big impact for both drivers. The 71 just comes to a complete stop in the wall. Ian Spear up in the air, rolling around. Looks like Ian just lost the car. Had that nose pinned to the bottom, and it sent it into the 71 Alan DeFries and sent both of them up into the outside safer barrier.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Alan DeFries. He was up front early on, and you know, got involved in this accident.
So 52 laps to go here in the Jackie's Journey 150. Just about to click off the 2/3 mark of tonight's or this afternoon's event, depending on where you're watching from. Well, Terry, thanks for joining us on the YouTube side. Really do appreciate that. The side benefit, the video quality on the YouTube side is definitely better than Facebook, but we'll definitely try to get that figured out for the next Superior Class Auto Racing ARCA race, which I think is this coming Monday. We'll get that straightened out so we don't have this issue again. I'm assuming it has something to do with the music we played in the very beginning. Just have to scratch that this time.
Yeah, so, you know, we're learning as we go, guys, so we'll get better with that.
Don't be alarmed. You're going to see a lot of Facebook test streams this week so I can figure out what got blocked. You might see an hour of that first song just to see if they kill it.
It was probably my commercial.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it's a newer commercial. That's a possibility. I don't know where we sourced the audio for it, but like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it. No worries.
Well, I am not tech savvy, so Brian Rose made that commercial. So we're going to blame Brian Rose if it's on
Throwing Brian Rose under the bus. Is it bad enough he's already having a tough night running in the 11th spot? You got to throw him under the bus for this issue. Okay.
Oh, he done a great job on the commercial, though.
Yeah, he did do a good job in the commercial. I'll give him that.
Yeah, Brian's really good at that kind of stuff.
Definitely does a good job. Helps us out with some of these videos. Of course, our recap, last lap recap from last week. That was a Brian Rose production. Appreciate the contributions of all the HBR guys when it comes to these broadcasts. It's certainly a help. Can't do it all myself, and it's definitely noticed. So lights are off on the iRacing pace car. You expect to see it peel off the racetrack here off turn number 2 as it does. Maintain the pace car speed all the way down the back straightaway into the Geico restart zone.
I think Colt was getting a little antsy there.
Colt wants to go. I was kind of wondering if they were going to change the rule for this. It's kind of good that they did because it would have been chaos, but...
Yeah, Colt's wanting to get a good start to keep Bobby.
Not going to happen today. Bradford in the gas. Gets a big jump on Colt Ansley and Bobby Jr. Bobby Jr. to the inside of Colt Ansley. using the same move that cost him a spot the last restart, but makes it work for himself. Move Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the second spot. Cole Ansley back to third.
Ooh, looks like Colt man gave Bobby a little bump there.
Just saying hi. That's how racers communicate with the bumpers. Oh, Ian Spear back in the wall. A little brush with the safer barrier, but keeps it going.
You know, believe it or not, Steve, this has always been one of my favorite tracks, but the way they're talking about tire wear, I don't think it would have been this season.
You know, I ran a couple of practice sessions with these guys during the week. Got in the car for a night session. Of course, this is running during the day, and then I think I made some laps during the day. I don't remember. It is a tough track. The new layout, it's fun to drive. But after 4 or 5 laps, it's kind of no more fun because the thing doesn't want to do what you want to make it do. And by the thing, I mean the car. Tires go away in a hurry. The grip level changes considerably. If you get them too hot, it makes a big difference in how they handle. It's really a challenge. And you can see that the experience up front is certainly showing in these top 3, David Bradford, Hamilton Jr., and Cole Ansley.
Yeah, they're starting to check out a little bit. And, you know, hopefully they're not using up all their stuff this early. I'm sure, you know, these 3 are smart enough not to do that.
45 laps to go here in Jackie's Journey 150.
Bobby, you know, it seems like he wants to try to drive David into the corners. I think it's a little bit of strategy here. Maybe try to make him wear a little bit of his tires.
Without a doubt. I mean, Bobby Hamilton Jr., he's going to try and save tires too, but doing what he did before is he looks to the inside of David Bradford, trying to take the lead here, going into turn number 3. Nope, turn 1. Old turn 3. I'm all messed up. Off turn 2 down the backstretch, David Bradford regains that position. Bobby Jr. just didn't have enough to get all the way by and clear the 46. But going back to what you were saying, Eric, yes, I think Bobby Jr. may be pushing the 46 a little harder than he normally would have. It's a great strategy. You kind of force the leader to drive how you want to drive. I mean, if you're going to kind of win together or die together here as far as that's concerned, because Bobby runs the same risk of wearing his stuff out too. It may be the benefactor of Cole Ansley here as Bobby takes another peek inside turn 4. I think David Bradford may catch on to that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure Colt's, you know, enjoying this, being in that 3rd position and enjoying them two kind of racing each other a little harder.
.40 laps to go here in Phoenix. David Bradford continued to be the leader here. Bobby Hamilton Jr. second. Colt Ansley is third. Will Hewitt fourth. Justin Napier has quietly worked his way back up into the top 5. Bobby Jr. taking another peek at the inside of that 46 machine. Nothing doing yet. I think he's just trying to stay in the mirrors of David Bradford. Keep him paying attention out the back window. Maybe force a mistake by the 46.
Maybe force a mistake, or like we said earlier, force him to, you know, maybe go in a little bit harder and wear the tires a little bit more.
Top three drivers both all ran 27.7 second laps. David Bradford, Hamilton Jr., Colt Ansley. The rest of the field in the 28s or worse. I think this may come down to tire wear. I don't know. If we're done with cautions, this could be a problem for our top three. They're all running a lot faster than the rest of the field.
Bobby is all over the track in David's mirror right now.
Like I said, I think moving that pink number 16 Hateful Chicken Ford Mustang left to right, it's definitely got to be distracting to David Bradford, seeing that in his mirror. Sometimes tough to not look at it. So far it's working out though. David Bradford still the leader, lap 114. Looks like Mike Aiello has crashed as well. No caution. See if we can get a quick look. Mike Aiello in the 74, racemlr.com, Toyota Camry. Loops it by himself, trying to get to the inside of Thomas McMullen. Gets away with it. Doesn't collect any traffic and gets back underway.
Yeah, it looked like he just cut too hard. You know, that's the difference with these next gen cars. If you cut them real hard, I've noticed they're easy to spin out like that. So to me, that's what it looked like happened.
You know, the word from Tony Stewart, Clint Boyer, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. when they did their next-gen test at Bowman Gray recently was that the cars seem to do everything better, but it's not to say that they're easier to drive. They kind of just go when they're ready to go. They don't give you any warning. They don't slip and slide, especially with this bigger tire. It is a little bit wider, a bigger contact patch, and a smaller, shorter sidewall. So the wheels themselves are bigger than the old 15-inch radials that they ran on the Gen 6 Cup car. You had a little bit of give, a little bit of flex, pliability in that sidewall. You could feel the car start to step out. With the bigger tire, the grip is there until it's not, and then all of a sudden it's around. So it's very hard to get a gauge on it. I'm sure it's something that everybody's going to get used to, but it's definitely something significantly different from the previous generation Cup car.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's going to take a while for these drivers to get used to it at every track. So I think it makes it very good that everybody's learning it together and feed off each other.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. drops out of line, lets the 86 of Colt Ansley go by, move Colt up to the second spot. Not sure what's going on there. Something maybe a miss with the 16.
Think he may just be planning on saving some tires and just let Colt go?
It could be. I mean, maybe he softened Bradford up just a bit, being aggressive the way that he was. Maybe he decided against burning up his own stuff. It's hard to say. We're going to have to see if we can get a word with Bobby post-race. Go through the field. We haven't done that yet. We've got this long stretch of green flag. David Bradford, your leader. Second place in stage 1, winner of stage 2, has led since the drop of stage 3. Second place, Colt Ansley, running in that second position. Believe he started third tonight. Technically started at the back because of the UL penalties from the wins. Bobby Hamilton Jr. running in the third spot. Also started out back. Speaking of which, so did David Bradford. Our top three started at the rear and has worked their way to the front. Will Hewitt out of Mayfield, New York. He's running back in that 4th position. Another pink paint scheme for Will. Thomas McMullen running back in the 5th position, under pressure from Justin Napier right now. Justin Napier trying to make his way around Thomas McMullen, wants that 5th spot. Back and forth they go. Thomas McMullen edges to the 5th position, but gets out of it, gives it to Justin Napier off onto the backstretch. Move to Brian Rose in the 7th position. Brian in that number 89 Popple machine. Got that car crossed up off turn number 2 earlier on in the race. Has kept it on the lead lap. Slowly worked back into the top 10, running 7th as of now. Chris Johnson, the number 78 Johnson Masonry colors. Also some pink added to that car. It's typically black, white, and green. Chris Johnson keeping things quiet as he does get into the wall and going down the back straightaway. Nothing significant, keeps his foot in it. Mark Truxall into 5. He's running in the 9th position. It's very aggressive early on, but again, having a good race so far, keeping that car clean. Jason Spear in the 83 was a close contender in the finish of last week's race in Las Vegas. He's running in the 10th position. Brother Ian Spear in the number 32 had a couple of incidents here tonight as well. Got into Ellen DeFries and brought out a yellow in that incident. Hard impact for those two. Got some repairs done, but it appears he has gotten into the safer barrier once again. And last car on the lead lap is 74 of Mike Aiello Jr. out of Greenwich, Connecticut. Or Greenwich, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, but hey, it is what it is. That's your top 12. All these cars on the lead lap. Vincent Short, Carson Conway, Jeff Napier, Ellen DeFries, all off the pace, a lap or more down.
So I know it's still early in this run, and you know you was talking about the top 3 starting from the back. The top 3 is also the 3 winners we've had this season. So, you know, do you think maybe these guys have something figured out right now?
Well, there's no doubt about it. David Bradford and Bobby Hamilton Jr. are a threat just about every week. Colt Ansley, as of late, especially this new season in SCAR, he's been a threat every week as well. I mean, without doubt. He was close at Daytona, had an opportunity. I think he ended up winning the Auto Club. To go back and check the notes on that. But yeah, I mean, these guys, I mean, they've got it figured out. It's a race car is a race car is a race car. Yes, it's a next-gen car, and we all have to learn and adapt to it. But the guys that do it the quickest so far this season, David Bradford, Colt Ansley, Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Yeah, these guys has been hard to beat this season. David Bradford's continuing to pull way up front. He's close to a 2.5 lead over Colt Ansley right now.
Yeah, it just makes you wonder, is David past the point of no return with trying to save tires? Is it go time? I mean, he's got, like I said, a 2.5 on second spot, Colt Ansley. Or again, is it the other way around? Is Colt and Bobby, they just saving their stuff to make a late run? We got 20 to go. Still plenty of time to catch David Bradford, but that lap by, he's gained another 10th on Colt Ansley.
Yeah, while you was going through the field, I was watching the times, and they were staying about even. And right when you was about to finish going through the field, it seemed like David kind of maybe flipped a switch.
Well, that last time by, he was 0.2 quicker than Colt, 0.3 quicker than Bobby Hamilton Jr., and this time by, they're about the same. All 3 cars within 0.5 tenth.
David coming into this race, as I said earlier, the points leader. Looks like it's going to be a huge points day for him. He can keep that thing up front and out of trouble. And, you know, Colt, Colt's always been, one of the top guys here at Scar, always up front. I think sometimes, Colt has hurt himself in being aggressive, and this year he's putting down a good run.
Again, like we've mentioned before, Colt always very aggressive, but he's showing his ability just to be conservative, save the car. Sure, he's not running where he wants to run, but second spot, still not too shabby. Definitely shaping up to be a good points day for the 86.
Absolutely. I mean, I think there are times in seasons past, Colt has known he's had a top 3 car and just been so aggressive that he's took himself out of that. And now I think he's starting to be a little bit more patient.
Field getting very strung out at this point. Don't expect to see a caution. Not a whole lot of close quarters racing happening right now, but as we talk about that, we're getting into that 40-lap green flag that we were worried about. Not quite there where we're looking at blown tires, but that could be an issue going on. If some of these guys pushed the envelope a little too hard early on in the run, I know the early caution may have helped, but so you see Colt Ansley getting up in the marbles a little bit. David Bradford has extended that gap to just under 3 seconds.
And, looking at the schedule for, it looks like they're off next week, and then on November 23rd, they go to Atlanta. So that's going to be another track that has been tough on tires.
Yeah, without a doubt. Atlanta's tough on tires. Obviously, Phoenix is tough on tires. I mean, Atlanta was tough on tires in the old car. I can't imagine how it's going to be with this. Wider tire means bigger contact patch. Bigger contact patch means more friction. More friction means more heat. So we're just going to have to see. I mean, these guys are certainly going to get into the practice sessions in between now and then and try to get it figured out.
Yeah, that's a good thing for, some of the guys that, didn't run as good at this track. They're going to go to Atlanta with, an extra week of practice. Right now, David Bradford, 3.5 second lead.
Now, we just commented on that maybe a couple laps ago. It was about 2.9 seconds. He's gained 0.6 since then. 12 laps to go. Gap between Colt Ansley and Bobby Jr. has maintained at about 0.4. I don't know who's saving more here. Is it Colt? Is it Bobby? Is it kind of about the same? Are they just content knowing that, we'll just ride this out here and we'll get a second and third place finish, or do we want to try and hunt down David Bradford? I just don't think they have enough time. The gap is almost 4 seconds with 11 to go. You see how far up in front. David's just getting into turn number 3 right now.
Yeah, I think if they got anything, they'll have to go now. I mean, because not only is he putting track on them, he's also putting cars in between. And, the lap car just pulled over for Colt Ansley, but that still kind of hurts Colt because he can't run his normal line of drifting up against the wall when there's a lap car up there letting him go. So it still affects him.
Yeah, you still got to move your line. You got to change things around regardless of where he goes. It's just you can't run quite as fast when you're trying to get around a guy, even if he's giving you the lane. You got to catch him at just the right spot.
David's, just a while ago it was 3.5. It's 4.8 seconds now. So David is checking out, and I think if I'm Colt, I'm just hoping for a caution right now.
Yeah, caution would certainly change every aspect of this race. These guys, I'm sure, have tires on pit lane that they could use. Would certainly make it interesting if we got a yellow, but remains to be seen. 7.5 laps to go.
mean, any way you look about this, I mean, it's a fantastic job by David Bradford. I mean, up front, the whole stage, really, you know, nobody close to him. Bobby was in his mirror the first few laps, but you know, even in the later stage here, he's walking away.
He's got about 6 seconds on Colt Ansley, but Colt is starting to drive away now. You see David just go by start finish, drive away a little bit from Bobby Hamilton Jr. And just now, there's Colt, there's Bobby. Big gap. We've got 6 laps left to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to cut a second a lap into it. As you see Vincent Short get into the wall in front of the leader off turn 2. No harm, no foul. 46 gets by easily.
That wouldn't have been good at HBR, having one of the guys take out the leader when they have a 6.5 second lead.
Yeah, that'd be a tough Monday meeting for sure. Gap
You're
back
absolutely
to Colt.
right about Colt, though. I mean, caution's out.
There it is. We do have a yellow. Not sure why.
This changes it all here.
Not sure if it was Ian Spear. I'm just looking through some of the drivers here.
Jeff Napier.
Was it Jeff? Jeff Napier found it. Let's back it up. Jeff all by himself into turn 1. Gets the left side down on the flat and around it goes. Single car spin off turn 4. Well, well, well. David Bradford in the pit lane, as you would expect. Let's see if they can make this stick. He's going to have to take tires. Fuel probably not an issue, but if he stays out, everybody else pits. Right side's going in the air. Left sides as well. 4 tires for David Bradford. Colt Ansley down and away. Not quite fast enough to get out ahead of the 46.
We know David's been the fastest on the long run, so now we're going to find out who's the fastest on this short run.
Yeah, we're going to overtime here. It says 3 laps to go, so we're going to have a green-white checker here. Oh boy, this is right in the wheelhouse of Colt Ansley and that number 86. Time to be aggressive. This is what he does. Chris Goins chiming in from neighboring league. This really makes it exciting now. Sure as heck does. Chris, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate the support. I can see Terry now. She's rocking in her chair like, oh my God, here we go. Colt's got a shot. New race. If I wasn't sitting in my rig, I'd probably be rocking out of it too, but it's a little stiff.
I'm not sure what happened to Bobby on pit road. It looks like he's went from 3rd to 7th here.
Yeah, he had a long pit time as far as in his box. It was 26.5 second pit stop. Pit lane time was a minute 13 for Bobby Hamilton Jr. And he's pitting again. So I don't know if he's got damage to be repaired. Let's see if we can see anything here. The car looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Car doesn't have any damage. He spent 25 plus seconds on pit lane last time. Misses his box again, slides through. Now he's getting left sides put on. I don't know what's going on here with the 16 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. It was left side tires only.
Maybe he had a error on pit road where he just took right sides.
It's tough to say. I know you got to kind of be your own crew chief at times and pretty much takes Bobby Hamilton Jr. out of contention for the win. We've got the pace car hitting pit lane. Again, the field still has to go down the backstretch, get to the Geico restart zone. Bobby Hamilton Jr. full speed catching the field off too.
I think Colt's going to try his best to get down in front of Will Hewitt here. I think he has to if he wants a chance of winning.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to get it done on the outside, but David Bradford gets away. Not going to clear Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt stays down low. It's a green-white checker finish here. Will Hewitt takes the spot from teammate Colt Ansley. 2 pink cars, second and third. David Bradford out. Oh, no. Colt Ansley in trouble in the wall off turn number 2. Middle of 1 and 2. David Bradford, only challenger now, the 33 of Will Hewitt, white flag in the air, final lap. Pretty good gap back to second spot, almost a full second advantage for the 46 of David Bradford. Looking off turn number 2, down the backstretch for the final time in the Jackie's Journey 150. Dominant performance. Reckon behind him, it doesn't matter, it's the last lap. Checkered flag waving for the 46 Natural Light Machine. David Bradford's gonna win the Jackie's Journey 150 from Phoenix. Second place, Will Hewitt. Third, Thomas McMullen. Brian Rose brings it home in a top 5, and Chris Johnson, 5th spot.
Yeah, that caution biggest benefit was Brian Rose. I mean, I don't think he had been in the top 5 all night and ends up getting a top 5. As he's bumping teammate David Bradford here.
Well. Late race caution. Everybody gets tires. David Bradford holds them off for the victory. Time to light the tires.
David Bradford's second win of the season.
It's 2 in a row for the 46 machine.
Steve Singer's first pick for a winner.
Just realized that.
Yeah, you probably took the lead on me there. You know, Colt, I think Colt got in the turn a little hot and got sideways and lost a few positions there, so you may have took the overall lead on me for the season.
It's like David Bradford going opposite counter race, saying thanks to the fans. Don't know if David Bradford knows where victory lane is at this new layout here at Phoenix Raceway. I know there's a way to get in there. We've seen some guys drive up to that scoring pylon. It's a small break in the pit wall. You see it there to the right. Thomas McMullen and Will Hewitt are already there. Looks like David might be lost. He's trying to find his way there. We'll get to David in just a minute. Now he's back in the pit lane. All right, he's making progress.
He practiced how to get around the track, not to get to pit road, it looks like.
Right. Now Will Hewitt is pulled away.
Looks like Will Hewitt's doing laps through pit or victory lane.
They're trying. Thomas McMullen makes his way to victory lane.
I think Will Hewitt's just going to block David from going.
David backs into the OCR pit box.
He don't want that car touched.
There we go.
David Bradford, win number 2.
All right, well, let's get these guys in here, have a conversation. Got David Bradford, Will Hewitt, Thomas McMullen. First, we're going to David Bradford. David, this is Steve and Eric in the HBR TV booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
You found your way to victory lane in this natural light number 46. Congratulations. It's 2 in a row for you. Tell us about your afternoon.
Oh, man, it was a really good setup, really good car for me. Felt like Bobby was pretty good, too. Man, first stage, just kind of followed Colt on up through there. Bobby was with us, just us 3 kind of making it up through there. I got a little more out of that stage than I thought I was going to. Getting a second like that, Colt made a little slip off of 3 there, and I was able to get by him. Good points there, and then once I got out front, the car, man, being out front was everything. I don't know that I was doing anything different from anyone, but just having that clean air on the nose and keeping the tires on it really helped out.
So early on in that last stage, it appeared that Bobby Hamilton Jr. was really pushing, almost seeming like he was trying to make you wear out your tires. Did you kind of get that impression too, or?
Oh yeah, I was just sticking to running my line. He even told me once, he was like, "Man, I'm about to run you over on entry. You don't go." And so I had to pick it up a little bit. I was just trying to really run my race and not anybody else's. But he had one really good run on me there, and lap car was in the way. And really, I was kind of telling people, "Hey, watch him, watch him." Luckily, he did get out of the way, but I think that was Bobby's one shot to really get at me there.
So you finished, I think, second in stage 1. You won stage 2. Dominated stage 3. Caution comes out late, and everybody pits for tires. I assumed you expected everyone to go with you. Did you think it was going to be as easy as it was to maintain the lead and drive off like you did? I think you still won by just over a second.
It definitely wasn't easy, Steve. None of this stuff is easy. These guys are on their game every week. A lot of them have been practicing. It may have looked easy, but it definitely wasn't, man. I was driving the car every lap, shifting twice a lap, just trying to keep it as freed up as I could up off the corners. Like, I bring my A game every time I come in here, no matter what it looks like,
We've certainly made it look good from our perspective. It looked easy, definitely was not. Our winner tonight in the Jackie's Journey 150 here from Phoenix Raceway. Congratulations, David. Who helps you get this done?
Of course, the guys over at HBR, Hollow Boy Racing, 2 in a row for the team. Really happy to help the guys out when I can, when they need help. Dad, George, watching at home, appreciate you guys. I felt like I had a really good piece, and I told them that, and that was real good. Jackie, what you're going through, I hope it works out for you. Everybody over at the Anheuser-Busch plant in Jacksonville, thank you guys. And don't forget, you got to give away a bonus now because I won a stage.
That's David Bradford. Congratulations. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I think we're going to Atlanta, so another track tires are going to come into play. What do you think your strategy will be out there?
Honestly, I'm really good there. I don't know what the repay will do to me, but it's been one of my favorite tracks over the years. I think I've won there like 3 out of the 5 times we've been there or something like that. It's been a really good track for me. Like you said, I think tires are still going to matter, and I think as we get more and more into this car, the tires are going to continue to matter. I believe I lose a set now that I've won 2 races. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, and I start at the back again, but we'll just have to see how it goes, man.
David Bradford eyeing 3 straight. Tune in 2 weeks from now. Atlanta Motor Speedway. See if he can pull it off. Thanks, David.
Thank you, guys.
It was David Bradford, our race winner. We'll go to second place, Will Hewitt. Will Hewitt, it's Stephen Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, yes, sir.
Will Hewitt, man, quietly working your way through the field here this afternoon, bringing that number 33 fiver machine home to second place. Tell us about your afternoon. What was your strategy late? How'd you bring it home in P2?
Yeah, I mean, I really had the same strategy all day. It was maintain my position and let the dudes in front of me race it out, and hopefully they burn up their tires. And before that last caution there, we were catching Bobby, so it was working out. But I mean, it was the caution definitely helped us.
Right side damage to that machine that you wheeled all afternoon. What happened there?
There were a couple times off of two where I just scraped the wall a little bit. Nothing major.
Damage real significant on these cars as far as how it affects handling? I know last week at Vegas, a little tiny impact made a world of difference.
Yeah, so I mean, this place it was tight enough on the exit of the corners, and I mean, you get some right side damage, it's gonna get even more tight, and it's just impossible to drive.
So coming into this week, there was some rumors that you might not make it. Are you glad you came out to Phoenix Raceway?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to win, but I'll take second. It's restored my faith in these cars a little bit. It was a fun race.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you. It's fun to watch you run these races. You're always up in contention. Congratulations before we let you drive out of victory lane here, the podium per se. Do you have anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank you guys for putting on great broadcasts every week.
We certainly appreciate that, Will. We had some challenges tonight, but we'll get back to the drawing board and we'll fix them next time.
Sounds good, man.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.
This is Will Hewitt, second place finisher tonight. Not really a surprise. He's always there at the end. Found a way to make it happen. We'll go to third place, Thomas McMullen. Thomas, this is Stephen Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So once again, you're in this top three. It keeps happening. We know you're talented enough for it, but I just didn't seem like it was a whole lot of noise coming from the O2 tonight. And then all of a sudden, late race restart, there you are, bringing the machine home third place. Tell us how you did it.
Yeah, these guys have had something else going on tonight. I think, I mean, they were just flat out better than I was. They were carrying more speed through the corners, and I wasn't really up to speed on the whole shifting deal. I know a lot of guys were doing that, and there at the end, the caution came out, and we came in and we put on 4, and I think everyone else put on 2, and that was the second place finish tonight is just a product of having fresher tires than they did, and so I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. It's pretty fun to say that we ran like trash all night and still wound up with a podium.
The old cliche, rather be lucky than good sometimes. We know you're talented, but luck certainly comes into play occasionally, and it did this afternoon, bringing that machine home in the third spot. Looking forward 2 weeks from now in Atlanta, another track that's probably going to chew up some tires. Any thoughts going into Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Yeah, it's probably going to end up like we were at the last track, where we're going to be running in the draft a lot, and so we'll have to just get back into that mindset. I know Atlanta carries a lot of speed, but the old package, I haven't turned any laps there with this one, so we'll see going into next week what happens.
Well, before we send you on your way, is there any sponsors you'd need to thank to help you get this things done here this season?
Yeah, Splash and Go Graphics, Murder Creek Distillery, and Next Generation Fishing Charters, as well as the Hateful Chicken, and you guys for putting on the show. I just want to say, I know we're running this race tonight for a special cause. It's an honor to be a part of it, and I hope that everyone enjoyed the show.
It's Thomas McMullen, our third place finisher. Thank you, Thomas. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Appreciate it.
That's your top three finishers for tonight's Jackie's Journey 150. We're going to try and get a word here with Colt Ansley. Again, Colt kind of put all this together to get these cars painted up pink, get the race sponsor to be Jackie's Journeys. It was just going to be the Phoenix 150. It's nice to actually have something of significance on board. Again, there is a GoFundMe page linked to HBR TV's Facebook page. It should be right there within a couple of scrolls of tonight's event. If you can and help out, go ahead and please donate. Certainly appreciated. But while we're waiting here, let's bring in Cole Ansley. Get a word with Cole. Cole Ansley, it's Stephen Eric in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Cole Ansley, a strong performance most of the afternoon here in Phoenix. Certainly here for a good cause, but also here to put on a show and try and get things done. It looked like you were on your way to doing that, at least bring that car home second or even third. What happened on that late restart? You ended up finishing in the 6th spot.
Yeah, it all just kind of came unwound there. I was gonna be happy just sitting there in second or third, and rolling along, and the caution came out, and so I knew my best chance to get out ahead of David was to take 2 tires, and so I took right sides, and as I was going in to take my stop, I blew through my stall, put it in reverse, backed up, didn't back up far enough, had to do it again, so I was able to take 2 tires in the amount of time it took David 4. So got off in there, and I never ran on 2 tires in any practice or anything, so I didn't have my brake bias set, and stepped on the brake, and hot slick left sides and cold icy right sides don't mix.
Well, unfortunately, it did knock you back to that 6th spot. Still a top 10, so I'm sure you'll take it. Not the point state that you were looking for, but now that we've got the unfortunate circumstances of the race, let's talk about why we're here. The Jackie's Journey 150. A friend of yours battling cancer. Tell us about that.
Yeah, she's been a family friend of ours for a long time. Spent a lot of time with their kids, and they live out in Daytona, and I was able to kind of connect with them about racing when their kids got to go to the Rolex last year, and last season I was they allowed me to put a ribbon on my car for Jackie, and she's an incredible person. Um, she's been dealing with a lot of rough cancer, just constantly moving around her body. They beat one and it comes back somewhere else. They beat that and it comes back somewhere else. And she's been extremely resilient to it. She's been very uplifting about it, very encouraging. She loves the Lord. She's constantly giving praise no matter what, which is something I don't know if I could ever do, even on my best day, dealing with something like that. So she's such an amazing inspiration. We're always praying for her. We're always here for her. Rest of the season, I am going to keep a ribbon on my car for her specifically. And hopefully she can keep battling. Hope we brought some awareness tonight. Hopefully we're able to bring in some good, hopefully donations to her cause. I know we had a lot of technical difficulties tonight, but those that were watching, I texted her as soon as we got out, and she said her kids were glued to the TV. They were having a ball. And so hopefully it was if nothing else, it was a good time for them to relax and to just not think about anything, just to have fun.
Well, Cole, again, congratulations on the race tonight. Congratulations on helping raise some awareness for your family friend. It's certainly a tough thing to deal with. You had some support from your fellow racers, so that's good to see. We were happy to do our small part that we could. And again, that GoFundMe page is linked to the HBR TV page on Facebook. So if anybody's able to, even if it's $1, I don't care if it's $1 or 100, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can spare, go ahead and click that donate button.
If I can say something about our guys that we've got out here, I put a message out a couple weeks ago whenever I wanted to reach out to them to do this, and the support from this group has been absolutely amazing. We might fight, we might bicker, we might go out there and tear each other up on some weeks, but at the end of the day, we are a family, and we're a very, very close knit family. And for all of these guys to go out there and some of these guys spent a ton of time repainting their cars. Even just the guys who repainted their rims or whatever they did, the support that they gave was just overwhelming for me. And when we gritted up, and I can't wait to go back and listen to her give the command. But when we gritted up and I saw that sea of pink, it just it was an amazing feeling. So thanks to all the guys out there.
Pretty cool to see for sure. I'm sure everybody appreciates it, and just always keep in mind, most of these guys, we've probably never even met each other, but I've been doing this with you guys for over a year now. Some of you since season 1. We're all friends here, whether we get along on the racetrack or not. When it comes down to it, if you need some help, everybody's around. Whether it's digitally or otherwise, but nevertheless, you got someone around every corner to turn to. So good to see. Glad we could help out in some way, shape, or form. All our best wishes to Jackie and their family, and just keep on trucking.
Yes, sir.
Eric, before we let Colt go, do you have a word for Colt Ansley?
I think it's great, Colt. What you put together here. I had fun calling it. It was a good race, and hopefully we were able to do some great things for Jackie, and she'll be in all of our thoughts and prayers. And way you describe her, she's a fighter, so I know she's got this.
Yes, she does. That means a lot. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Colt. Well, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks in Atlanta.
See you then. Sounds good.
It's Colt Ansley. Still messing that up. 6th place finisher. Had a good run here tonight. Thought he was going to at least bring home a 2nd spot, but it was not meant to be. Still a top 10. He'll take the points and move on to Atlanta. Well, Eric, I'm glad you're still with us. Didn't hear from you for a little while. I thought maybe you took a break, but we're getting ready to get out of here.
You were doing the interview so good. I just listened. I mean, you were spot on. So every question I had, you asked it before me. So I just kind of learned from the master there.
Well, I'm just used to doing it alone, I guess. Well, before we wrap up, let's get a look at our official results here from Phoenix. Of course, David Bradford, dominant victory by the 46 tonight. 2nd place, Stage 1, Stage 2 winner, and eventual race winner. Definitely led the most laps here tonight. Great win for him. That's 2 in a row. Looking to Atlanta to make it 3 in a row. Got to run it before you can get the trophy, though. 2nd place, Will Hewitt. Again, I don't want to say a surprise, but I'm sure he's even pleasantly surprised with the 2nd place finish tonight. Again, real quiet. Didn't make any noise throughout the field. Didn't wreck guys. Didn't get wrecked. Just brought the car home relatively clean. Of course, had some right side damage. But 2nd place for Will Hewitt. Good run for him. Glad to see him sticking it out and joining us again here for another Cup race. Thomas McMullen, again, a familiar face in our top 3. Just, again, quietly working his way up. It seems, the term slow and steady wins the race. Okay, well, he didn't win the race, but he's top 3. It seems to be paying off for some of these guys. Just bring the car home clean, and you got a chance at a great finish. Same thing with Brian Rose. Brian Rose had a rough start to his evening. He was sideways, almost got collected in a major incident. I think it was off turn number 2. Collected the car. Yellow didn't come out. He kept it on the lead lap, kept on trucking, got to the stage end, changed the tires. And he brings the car home 4th. I mean, yes, there's some late race theatrics that maybe got him there, but at the end of it, he didn't give up. He didn't rage quit. Kept driving that car, brought it home 4th, and salvaged some points on a track that he just was not looking forward to. And then Chris Johnson in the 78. Again, a quiet day for Chris Johnson. Kept the car clean, brought it home. 5th place, top 5 for Chris Johnson. And then Colt Ansley, like we talked about, in contention for a win. Late in the going, got into the wall, cold tires, no grip, still salvages a 6th place finish. And Bobby Hamilton Jr., still not sure what happened with Bobby with the extra pit stops late. Moves Bobby Hamilton Jr. back to the 7th spot. Mark Truxall was 5th. Truxall. Ian Spear in the 32. A rough afternoon for Ian as well, involved in a couple of incidents, but still brought it home top 10. Justin Napier in the number 54, Hateful Chicken. He finishes 10th. Jason Spear, the 83 car, 11th. Mike Aiello Jr., 74 car, 12th. Vincent Short, Holler Boys Racing, brings it home 13th. Carson Conway, also of HBR, 14th. Jeff Napier, 15th position, and unfortunately, strong run by Alan DeFries early. Ended up 57 laps down after getting collected in an incident with Ian Spear. It's our top 16. That's the field for tonight. Little short field. We're missing a couple of guys. I know Cody Harger had a work obligation. He was not able to make the race tonight, but I'm sure he'll be with us for Atlanta in 2 weeks. Eric, what do you think, man?
I think it's a good race. I mean, it was definitely challenging with the tire wear, but I think overall it was a good race. I think we had with 20 to go, we thought it was going to be David, Colton, Bobby top three, and only one of those statements held true. So that's why you never give up in this. Brian Rose is one that I think of. He had a rough night all night, but at the end of the day, fourth place. So great job to him. Thomas McMullen. We didn't talk about him a lot during the race. So these guys never gave up and came away with a good finish.
Well, that's going to about do it here from Avondale, Arizona, the Phoenix Raceway, the Superior Class Auto Racing NASCAR Cup Series. Jackie's Journey 150 is in the books. Our winner, David Bradford, congratulations to him. And thoughts, prayers, well wishes to Jackie Neal and her family. Keep on fighting. As Eric said, you got this. For Eric Dotson, I'm Steve Singer from the HBR TV booth. We'll see you guys in Atlanta. Have a good night.